starting up the stream. Just some quick preliminary checks to ensure that everything is working up to par and that you can actually hear me. And that good. Today's stream is going to be a little bit different. For one, I'm going to apply the changes I made during the last evening stream, so I'm streaming simultaneously to YouTube and Twitch. Also, I'll be covering essentially 5 games. First, Ringman in the Castle, then 3 SAGE2019 Mega Man related titles. Those being Mega Man Star Force N-Wave, Mega Man Makeshift, and Mega Man X and Zero training missions, and then I'll finally end off with Mega Man Ultra. Alright, the last game may require some changes because it's made in the Unreal Engine, well, the second to last game. So without further ado, let's start off the first game. Here we can see Ringman conversing with Dr. Kozak. I wonder why. And so... Greetings everyone, my name is Zatterville, and I welcome you all to my blind, live Let's Play of Ringman in the Castle, an 8-bit Mega Man fan game developed by Spade Magnus, and was recently released about a week or so ago. So without further ado, let's begin the game. In this title we play as Ringman, who has access to Ring Boomerang essentially, as well as a Ring Shield. I presume this is a tutorial stage. So it basically has the same movement abilities as Mega Man does. Only differences are his 2 Ring Boomerang attacks. And here are all of his attacks. Apparently he has a third one as well, if I hold it down. It essentially holds down the Ring Boomerang and plays for longer, similar to one of his attacks during the boss battle. And this game was made in the Megamix engine, so we do know it'll be very accurate to the NES titles. And it won't have several of the control issues that plagued the Mega Man Maker engine. And that means we also know that this won't have several of the control issues that plague the Mega Man Maker engine. Not sure, Mr. Lee. This time though, we're playing as Ringman. This time Ringman is a hero. He's not the bad guy here. I like how this explosive platform gimmick was introduced. Well, more like explosive mine. So that was the entrance of the Old Wily Castle. Our first fortress boss is... this. It's kind of like a Wily capsule now that I think about it. Really? It went that direction? I thought my shield would actually hit him there. Oh well. I played it a bit too risky there. Thanks for the explanation, Metal General. So that was only a mini-boss, apparently. Never mind, that was actually the first boss. That transitions me over to the next Wily Fortress level. It's an easy way of doing so. So according to Metal General, there is a normal ring throw attack from the original game, the ring shield from Voyage, and the ring hold from Minus Infinity. So 4 elemental gates: fire, electricity, rock, and music. Same, Mr. Lee. This kind of sounds like a remake of the original song. It sounds a bit slower paced. Oh, it's actually at the same speed? I thought it sounded slower. Like 10% slower. So that's the first elemental barrier down. Let's take care of the electric one next. I like how we start off the game with a quintessential enemy from Ringman's stage. From Ringman's level. Those being the ring rings. So now those pierce between walls. So now those pierce through walls. Welcome to the stream, Kroby. This ring hold ability is surprising. This ring hold ability is very useful. The ring boomerang is already pretty good, Gokulis. Also, welcome to the stream. But this is even better. I do wish you could hold it in place. That's the best addition Ringman has in his arsenal. And that was a close one. Sadly, no E-tanks in this game. Vertical scrolling section. Oh, that was a close one. Thankfully, spikes are not instant dead in this game. They only deal 7 damage to me. Now into the music section. At least that's what I think those blocks... At least that's what I think the element of those blocks are. So no E-tanks, but at the very least, instant death hazards are a lot less prevalent. Fair enough trade-off. I say that's a fair enough trade-off. I just wonder what happens if I fall into a bottomless pit. Does Beat rescue me? Or do I just get sent back to the last checkpoint? Because as we all know, Beat was made by Dr. Kozak. Yeah, Sonic Amateur Games Expo. Oh, he does have E-tanks? Well, I do see a slot for it. I just need to find one. So that opens up the gate to the end. It seems that all my health is restored when I get back over here. Kozak, yeah. Who are you? Control Man. I plan on only covering 3 SAGE entries, those being the Mega Man related ones. Oh no, Beaks. And I can't destroy them either. Oh. Okay. Despite screwing up a lot during this boss fight, I did it in my first attempt. Of course, there's a bottomless pit there. Pump Man's team. It's been a while since I last heard it. Oh, this is actually solid. For a moment there, I thought this was water. Eight direction scrolling section. In the future, Metal General. This game so far is making pretty good use of all of its assets. Both the ones already in the engine and the new ones, as well as all the modified ones. Probably a checkpoint room. Nice way of introducing this. Also, before I start up the stream, I changed the options of this game a bit so that whenever I pick up something, it doesn't pause the game. That way I can prevent some unfortunate deaths. Due to dropped button inputs mainly. I guess this is a puzzle room then. Wait, I need to activate that, don't I? It also has 1 on it. My second that. I took too much damage from the missile fish earlier. It's kind of it's more player preference, honestly. I don't like it so much in Mega Man Maker because it can eat up my button inputs. Also, sadly, the Ring Boomerang cannot pick up all those pickups, so that's kind of a downgrade. Now I just need to find number 2. And tree. I guess 2 is to the left and 3 is to the right. So, instant death. So the bottomless pits are instant death. Perhaps in the future, there may be a Nightman-oriented game. It's just that someone needs to make it. At the very least, they don't need to create a whole new engine for it. This fish spawn is actually quite dangerous. So that's actually a tree, and that's actually me dying for the 4th time. Remember, the smaller bubbles more easily pop. Oh, wait a minute, you can actually hold it in midair regardless of when you... Oh, wait a minute, you can actually hold it in any place in midair. I thought that was only possible if you did it at... I thought that was only possible if you held down the button before you fired the Ring Boomerang. Well, made it back alive this time. 4? I guess 2 is up there then. Yep, there it is. Right out there in the open. And now we can get across. Pretty fun challenge room, I'd say. Time for the next fortress boss. The Petite Devils. Yep, Petite Devils. Watch out to get hit by every single one of their attacks. A more hectic boss fight compared to the previous 2, but this is very pattern-based. They clearly telegraph what attack they're gonna do next. See what I mean? They very clearly telegraph what they're gonna do next. You just need to learn their patterns. So that's the core. Are we gonna have an escape sequence now? Welcome to the stream, John. Glad you could make it. Also Buster. Yeah, this game, from what I've heard, is rather short. Only 4 to 5 stages long. I don't mind shorter games, though. It certainly doesn't overstay its welcome, and every stage feels unique. And the use of all the assets, new, modified, and reused from the base engine, is pretty well done. I recognize this track from the Game Boy games. I think from Rockman World 4 or 3. Oh, Belatestein, never mind. Or Wily Station. Well, it's the same thing, to be fair. What do you have to say, Control Man? What's this then? Ring stack. Oh, that's one of the attacks he had for minus infinity. And now I can run around with that stack. Unfortunately, when I jump off or slide, I lose it. But this is exactly one of the attacks he had in minus infinity. Also, by placing Ringman there, you're forced to learn how to use it. And you're actually forced to get it anyways, because otherwise you can't jump up here. It also protects you against spikes. Even those enemies, they just phase harmlessly through it. But the ring stack also deactivates when I attack an enemy. Should have not done that. Oh, that's how we do it. This is very neat. Ah, almost dodged that. I'm gonna die now. Because I need 2 more solid hits. And the explosion doesn't disappear instantaneously. That's the only thing I hit the boss with, up plus fire. Also like how it forces you to use the newly acquired ring stack. I guess it's still too close. How do I dodge this pattern? Because this actually two-shots me. Okay, that's how I do it. I was thinking the ring stack would destroy those I was thinking the ring stack would get destroyed by the explosions as well. Thanks for the information, everyone. Jumping also works, but I need to be more precise. Now I can easily do this damage. Now I can easily do this damageless. One more should do the trick. Should have stood on top of it. And it's over. The count bomb crater has been destroyed. Yep, we have infinite lives. Yep, I just need to find where the E-Tank is, though. And I haven't found it one place either, Buster. Those and the missile fish are the most dangerous enemies in the game. Now I have to jump off of it in midair. Made it. The game does a nice job of introducing you to all of the game does a nice job of introducing you to the new abilities Ringman has. It doesn't just throw you into the deep end. So base is the final boss then. I also barely slid in this game. It's alright, that was a deliberate death. I knew it was too low in health. Sorry about the interruption. I take too long. I'm playing it too risky. I should jump out of it faster. Alright, he's in his powered mode. This attack that keeps throwing me off. It's not these giant projectile attacks that are most dangerous, it's the regular forward-firing projectile. Basically the two-shotter there. Even though now I realize he follows a very set pattern. I guess I skipped one of his attack patterns. He didn't even try throwing down the bomb. He didn't even try dropping the bombs. Okay, now he's trying. Last phase. These attacks are coming out notably faster than before. It's over. Or is it over? Who's next? Is it Control Man? Oh, never mind, it's Kozak. Thanks for the save. And that marks the end of Ringman in the Castle. A really short Mega Man fan game. But despite its lack of length, it is pretty good. I like the addition of the 3 new attacks Ringman has in this game. All these attacks are taken from other Mega Man hacks. Originally, Ringman only had his normal ring boomerang, but the addition of his ring shield, the ring stack, as well as the ring hold really upgrades his arsenal. If he were to be in an official Mega Man classic game, if he were to be in an official Mega Man powered up like game where you could play as him, I'd really like to have the ring hold and the ring shield. That makes him an interesting character to play as. Not only that, the game does a phenomenal job at introducing the new gimmicks, challenges, and new moves in a gradual environment. It doesn't throw you into the deep end. All of the assets, new, old, and reused. All of the assets, new, modified, and reused, are used pretty well. Oh, not exactly from Mega Man 4 Voyage, but close enough. Regardless, I recommend you try out this game. If you're pretty good at these sorts of games, it should only take about 20 to 25 minutes to complete this. If you're like me, it should take only about 30 or so minutes to complete. And this was also a pretty good showcase at the capabilities of the Megamix engine when used when making a fan game. I wish more fan game creators use this engine in the future, as it's very accurate to the original NES games and it comes with a ton of pre-programmed assets. For example, I'd like to see a Dustman fan game, or Nightman fan game, or fan games starring most of the RMs following the Mega Man 3 games. I especially feel that starting from Mega Man 5, the Roadmasters get overlooked. They deserve some time in the limelight. And thank you for making the game Spade, Magnus, and Friends. Well then, if you enjoyed this Let's Play, please rate, favorite... Well then, I thank you all for watching my Let's Play of Ringman in the Castle, viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, as I regularly post updates there. Well then, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play. Alright, give me a moment and I'll start the next game. The level design and the variety of challenges. Alright, it should be starting up now. I'm gonna have to do some quick modifications too. As a response, the issue with how slow it is has to do with GameMaker itself. Just let it cache for once and then it speeds up. Adding new stuff isn't that difficult either, it's not really rocket science. Because if you want to look at something that's much more difficult, try adding something new in Blyko's old engine. Ugh, that was a nightmare. This fixed so many problems. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Frankly, I feel most of the problems people have with the engine itself is not really the engine and how it's programmed, it's more GameMaker itself. It just takes a while to get used to it. Just take a look, Mr. Lely. Alright. The next three games were submitted to the Sonic Amateur Games Expo 2019, and they're all Mega Man related. For this one, especially the third one, I may need to make some modifications to how I record it, but otherwise, it should be interesting. Essentially, this is an expo for showcasing fan games, primarily fan games, and some more creative ROM hacks. Well, mostly the former, because there's a separate competition for ROM hacks. It started only focusing on Sonic fan games, but expanded in the past few years to include basically everything, including original stuff. In fact, saying it's just for fan games right now is inaccurate. It accepts original content too. So now let's start up the first one. Let's do that again. I kind of screwed that up. Basically what happened was I accidentally... the resolution was so big it broke on my screen. Welcome to my Let's Try of Mega Man Star Force N-Wave. Essentially, it's a Star Force fan game, but in the Battle Network style. Also, I'm not sure why there's a black bar on the left. That does not appear at all on my screen, so... sorry about that. So let's see if I can fix this. See, if I put it here, black bar on the left... let's see if I can fix this if I put game capture on. Nope. Sorry about that, you'll have to deal with the black screen. Good. Alright, before I begin, let's look at the options, just to make sure nothing goes wrong. Audio seems fine. Oh, I'll reset this back down to normal. Someone got set to max by accident during testing. And start out on medium. Here are the controls, by the way. I'll be using my keyboard. Z, X, Shift, Start, Select, and D-pad. Okay, turning down the volume. Is that better? Alright, let's begin. Starting off with the tutorial. If you're wondering why I started with so much Zenny, that's because of a test recording I did earlier. Apparently it didn't reset my save file. Essentially, it's a combination of the Star Force and Battle Network style. It's this big because it has to be, otherwise I have to fiddle around with so much of the interface it kind of looked really awkward. Sadly we lost contact with Kazuma, but we can easily deal with these Matars. So let's see, we can use Plasma Gun, Cannon, Sword, or Plasma Gun. Let's go with Cannon and Plasma Gun. So you can only equip these battle cards if they're adjacent to each other, and if the last ones are the same type. So Z to use your battle chips essentially. And your buster automatically charges up over time. Make sure to attack enemies when they're flashing so you get the counterattack bonus. Well, yeah, basically there was a PET in the junkyard, so they're going into it to prevent some issues. Now time for a regular virus battle. So 2 Matars and a Hot Rotor. Let's see... sure, let's go with that. Didn't time it right. You may have also noticed that the sword chips lock onto enemies. That was added in Star Force because of how you can only move left and right. It both makes some battles easier and some of them harder. Time for the first boss battle. I think it's Dustman, but I'm not sure. And now I can use the wave combo to defeat him. You can only use the wave combo if you counterattack an enemy, and it's fairly powerful. Oops, accidentally hit debug mode. And down goes Dustman. Yep, that's where he originated from, at least the Battle Network version. So that's the base game, in fact. It's a short demo, but there's more to this game. First of all, there's Heck Mode and Hard Mode. First I'm going to show off Hard Mode, then I'll show Hard plus Heck Mode. On Hard Mode, enemies attack and react faster. As you can see. Still pretty easy to defeat. But the biggest difference is when changing to Hard Mode is when you fight bosses. As you can see, Dustman is reacting much faster. He can actually knock me out of my battle chip attacks, well, battle card attacks. It's kind of a joke, actually. The reason why it's called Heck Mode is a joke in regards to Capcom. Well, Chrono X is a lot more complete. Let's see if I didn't miss this. Okay, I didn't. It locks on. And this is far from that. There is an official version of Cutman.exe in Battle Network 2. So that was Hard Mode, now let's do Hard plus Heck Mode. And there's a reason why it's called Heck Mode. But before that, let's purchase some humor programs. Oh yeah, that's a reference to how they lost their ability to use their shield, because in Star Force you can use a shield at all times, well most times by default. Every Battle Network game Falling 4 has a humor program. Oh, we can even unlock a secret. Sadly, some of them repeat, but there's one I want to show you if it ever gets shown. Okay, I guess I need to find another boss. Alright, time to show Normal plus Heck, and well, Hard plus Heck. I don't think it reset it properly. Well, as you can see, the enemies are really fast now. Okay. Well, let's see Junkman on really hard mode. Okay, that's strange. When I did a test run, Junkman's HP was much higher. Something happened. But, okay. That's different. No Junkman speed right now. This isn't called heck mode for nothing. Now, trying to hit sword chips is a different nightmare. Or trying to hit him at all without the buster. Okay, he's slowing down. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about something. I have difficulty shift enabled. So, if my rank goes too low, the boss gets easier. And I died. Let me show you. If you have difficulty shift enabled, when your rank decreases, the bosses get easier. All the way down to rank 1. But with it disabled, they'll all be the same. And I want to show something else. Let's max out the buster attack and charge. And super armor. Don't enable random folder as it may crash the game. Someone please clip that. Okay, now the boss health bar has been fixed properly. Oh, what? That's why I want super armor. I think I enabled the extremely fast mode by accident. For those who think the battle network games are too easy, I would like to see someone defeat in this way. I'm just gonna set it back to 10 so I don't get horribly destroyed again. Oh, it didn't get activated? But it says it activated. Anyways, let's see the secret after the next humor. If only it rotated it properly. Shine Diamond. Oh no. Is this a reference? Okay, I think this is a custom boss. But I have the Super Buster, so... Well, at least he's beatable, he's not really broken anymore. Oh no. For this boss... Excuse me. For this boss battle, you're locked to the left row. Sorry, Trode. With practice, probably, Burner Boy. If this gets made into a full fan game, pretty much S plus rank is Kaizo mode. I didn't expect this demo to go this direction. I thought it was more humorous, but Suddenly it's going a much more serious route. You're forgetting about all the other brother bands, unless those aren't programmed in. And that's it. Pretty good showing of the game, I'd say. A tutorial, a virus battle, boss battle, and the secret battle. Alright, this is the one I was looking for. I'll be assigned for this one. Perfect way to end off this game. So that was the first entry of SAGE2019, Mega Man related, at least for me. And Wave is pretty good, feels very faithful to both the series and meshing together elements. Perfect. Alright, on to the next game. That's what I was saying when I was wondering how serious the game ended off on. Well, there are 3 Mega Man related SAGE2018 entries. This was the first one, here's the next one. Mega Man Makeshift. This was developed by Zach Zevius. Let's check the options. Let's see how horrible the FPS is going to be. So let's begin. Whoa, one moment. The sensitivity is crazy. Okay, this is much better. This is essentially their second attempt at making a 3D Mega Man fan game, Zach Zevius's. Last year they made the rather malaligned Mega Man Adventure, which I did also do a Let's Try of. It was interesting. Welcome to the patio. But essentially the story is that we're playing as essentially a robotic clone of Mega Man. So, jump, shoot, no charge shots, yet at least. Yep. Already this controls... oh, whoops. I forgot about how much inertia I have. I thought I have infinite deceleration and acceleration. So I thought I could stop in midair. See, I have to stop my momentum before jumping. See what I mean? Because when I move forward and jump, it maintains my momentum to a pretty extreme degree. See, now I can make it. Well, this is not really Mega Man, this is Makeshift, a clone of Mega Man. Well, kind of a third-party clone. We couldn't afford bosses, sadly. Can I get in there? Hi, Metar. Bye, Metar. But as I was saying, this is already better than last year's Mega Man Adventure. The controls are so much more fluid. So that's level 1. And now I can actually edit my character. Okay, that's different. That explains why I had a gray sheen before. Close enough. I wish we had a palette selector. Close enough. I like this remix, though. No armor parts, sadly, so... Let's go to our first stage. Aquatic Research Facility. This test simulates an aquatic rescue. Helpful reminder, unfortunately budget prevents us from making you waterproof. Sniper. Oh, that's why. I wish the enemies stood out a bit more from the environment. Also, if the sound effects were louder. And my projectiles are bigger, this is surprisingly precise. Well... And kinda wish I had invulnerability frames too. Oh. Oh, thank goodness, these stages have checkpoints. These stages are already more advanced than the first game. The metal cannons here are extremely dangerous. Look how fast they fire. First secret. Yeah, I'm holding on the jump button. Alright, who's firing at me? Oh. I wish the reticules were more obvious. No, I don't have iframes, it seems. Neither do enemies. Enemies do have a range restriction before they activate, but I don't. Mega Man Makeshift, one of the 3 Mega Man entries for SAGE2019. Something's firing at me. Nope, just doors to protect myself, so I don't get killed by these random enemies. Because they can see me and they are firing at me. Or trying to fire at me. Ow. Okay, I do have some iframes, it seems. And I like how, as we unlock more secrets, we get more armor pieces. Despite this looking a bit awkward, I'm enjoying this. At first it was a bit awkward to control, but now it's fairly straightforward, and performance is much better than I initially thought. I thought this was gonna lag a lot more. I just wish the amount of precision required wasn't as high. Like, my projectiles were a bit bigger by default. I understand low precision required for the sniper, but not so much for the Mega Buster. And I also would like to have the charge shot. That's the last secret. And that's the end of the stage. I didn't expect the first level to be that vertical. So, new helmet set. Next up is the city park. This test simulates eliminating hostile threats in a wooded environment. Again, you're not waterproof. I think the graphics are a bit wonky. Okay, it's because of lighting, never mind. Kinda strange how the shadows affect the lighting like this. I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Rocket launcher. Well, I can't go directly to the exit. They thought of that. It's just the shadows that broke it. Also, I can't instantaneously refire the sniper. There's a short delay. Never mind. Shotgun. Oh, never mind. We have to destroy these generators. I thought that was the level exit being blocked. That makes a lot more sense. I think the music's fine. It's much more appropriate compared to the last game. It's decent at the very least. Level complete. And I like how you unlock more cosmetics as you get more of the quote-unquote secrets. It gives you the ability to customize your own quote-unquote Roadmaster, or rather clone of Mega Man, but you get the idea. Next up is a smelting pool. This test simulates eliminating hostile enemies in a smelting plant. No, you're not immune to molten metal, so don't fall in. Legends, because he can lock on, and he has a bigger health pool, and invulnerability frames. Awesome remix of Heatman. Never mind, there isn't a refire rate for the sniper rifle. I guess it's because I was moving at the same time. Just imagine Yoko blocks in 3D. Okay, I took care of the first floor. There are 3 floors here. The rockets aren't as strong as I thought they would be. Well, maybe not well, they are strong, it's just they're not as fast as I thought they would be. See what I mean about how powerful the cannon mets are? Well, at least my progress is saved. Honestly, I feel the Buster is better against them. The Buster and Sniper Rifle. Oh yeah, I erased that game from my mind. To be fair, because you can wall jump, whenever you can wall jump, Yoko blocks aren't that bad. See for example the ZX games. I'm surprised we didn't have Yoko blocks in the earlier X titles. Also, I'd like to point out, unlike the first game, Mega Man Adventure, all the enemies are taken from the Mega Man series, unlike the random selection enemies we had before. Okay, someone fell asleep. There is no range restriction for any of our projectiles, if I want to make that clear. But there is an activation distance restriction for the enemies. I probably missed one upgrade somewhere. At least I got all 3 secrets. I think this is a reference to something else. This armor piece kinda reminds me of a variant of Zero. Met City. This test simulates a rescue in an evacuated city. Try not to break anything, or do. I'm in state select, not a cop. So, a rescue mission? My first suggestion would be to reduce the fire rate of those med cannons. They're too fast for an introductory enemy. An assault? Okay, so we got an assault rifle essentially. Whoa. I thought I could jump there. I'm referring to three games: Mega Man Star Force N-Wave, Mega Man Makeshift, and Mega Man X and Zero training missions. Where are you, platform? Oh, I see. A much more linear stage to contrast with the more open last 4 levels. I'd rather just spam the Mega Buster, that feels more powerful. I just like jumping like this, although it's kind of risky. There really should have been a jumping animation like this, but remember, this is more of a demo, a rough alpha, so I apologize if I sound too harsh on the game. It's a massive improvement over the first game. Darn. I still need to get used to the inertia while jumping. Mega Man Legends would be one example. It feels like, to be quite honest, Mega Man Legends kind of feels like a hybrid of a Mega Man game and The Legend of Zelda, to be quite honest. Not that it's a bad thing. I see you there, Zack. I would use the shotgun more had the enemies been a lot less dangerous and fired less rapidly. Because I have to get up close and personal to use it properly. I also wish there were sound effects when we hit an enemy, because right now it feels like most of the weapons lack impact. Well, all the weapons. Their sound effects are just way too low. Yeah, they're basically every one of them is essentially an alternate series. At this point, I don't call them a side series, just other series. There's probably a secret here. Yep, there it is. A reminder, if this was the first game, I could theoretically climb up one of these buildings. Here the physics are actually sensical. Stage done. The most linear stage so far. It felt the most like a classic stage translated to 3D. Final stage unlocked. I guess I'm back down to normal, because I had the same one from before. Can we please stop the rotation? I'd like to see him from the front. I'd like to see this concept of Build a Roadmaster taken further. Perhaps give different stats to different armor pieces. Right now being cosmetic only is fine with me. Yeah, it isn't as bad because usually you have more time to react to them coming on screen, from a distance for example. Plus you have more space to maneuver around the place. True, we still count them as Mega Man titles, just in a... I like to call them their sub-franchises. On to the final stage. Oh, I missed most of them. Darn. That explains a bunch. Test Wily stage. This Wily stage was given to us for training purposes after Wily was defeated. Which time, we'll let you be the judge. To be honest, we aren't sure ourselves. Alright, Wily Castle time. The other suggestion I'd like for this game would be to have more enemies. We only have 4 enemy types, the Met Cannons, these laser turrets, and those bipedal robots. It's not so much they hit a ton, it's the fact that I'm lacking iframes. The damage they deal individually isn't that bad, but please put iframes in. Or double my health pool. Right now it feels like I'm rather fragile. Or surprisingly fragile. Whoa. Oh, okay, now I hear the sound effect. Okay, enemies do have an explosion sound effect taken directly from Legends, but it's too quiet. The audio bouncing in the game really needs several passes. Yeah, the shield mechanic, that's basically iframes. But I want to stress again, this is more like an alpha. But I credit the SAGE Xavius for having massive improvements over the original. This actually has a nice amount of content, and the stages aren't really that broken anymore. They can't be broken as much. And I really like how some of them are quite non-linear. Maybe not quite, but rather non-linear. And have a bit of verticality to them. Kinda wish we had one boss battle at the end. That'd be a nice way to wrap up this project. I'm gonna deliberately die over here because I want to be back at full health. I mean, look at the second stage. That's a good example. I know the level design is a bit more on the basic side, but I'm surprised it used verticality this much, and more non-linear level design. We essentially had 3 more open stages, the tutorial stage, and 2 linear stages. This is the second one of the group. Oh, and that's it. Kinda was hoping for a second stage. In 3D, because you can see the end from the start, it makes it feel a bit smaller. Oh, never mind, that answers my question. We actually have a final boss. Mock Roadmaster, your final test. Here is a test Roadmaster for you to fight. Finish this and you will be classified as combat ready. Prototype version 4. I'm prototype version 5, by the way. So that's essentially my bigger brother. Let's do that again more fairly. Because both he and I are lacking iframes. Let's try doing his buster only. Nice remix of Departure. Oops. That's what I was worried was gonna happen. Let's try something else. Depth perception. No wonder why the sniper rifle is the best weapon to use here. Because it has no travel time, unlike all the other weapons, except maybe the shotgun too. We don't have a 3.5D space. That would be if you have a game with time travel, probably, or multiple worlds. But yeah, Mega Man 11 is a 2.5D game. I understand it could be more 2.5D, like for example the classic stages in Sonic Generations. I kind of wish this battle involved less moving back and forth. I'll just finish it the normal way, you get the idea. So that marks the end of Mega Man Makeshift. At first I thought this game would only have about 2 or 3 stages to go through, but no, it has a surprising amount of content. Not only does it have the tutorial stage, it has 4 different facilities. Well, 3 different facilities, a city, the Y stage, and a mock roadmaster. Not only that, but 3 of the stages are more open, like here, and then we have a more linear stage like these two. And I do like how we can pick up some extra armor pieces by searching the stages, some much easier than others, and by doing so you can create your own quote-unquote roadmaster, or Mega Man clone. I just wish we had a color wheel for this instead, so it's easier to pick. Music remixes were pretty fun as well, graphics were an improvement over the first, controls physics also an improvement but takes a while to get used to. Sound effects and music need some audio balancing. Most of the sound effects are just way too quiet. I could barely hear what was happening to enemies. They really need some more. When you hit and destroy an enemy, the sound effect for that should be much more pronounced. Same with the weapon sound effects. They really feel like you're firing wet tissue paper for the most part. For an alpha, it's decent. I know it looks a bit wonky, but I see the promise in this game. It just needs several passes and more content. I wouldn't mind seeing a scenario-based game with different levels and roadmasters. Anyways, on to the next game. Doesn't he technically predate Roadmaster? And this one is Makeshift, so he's technically a Roadmaster, well, a clone based off of Mega Man. And the Genesis unit. And the Mega Man killers. Alright, the next game I'm a bit concerned may or may not capture properly. Here's to hoping that this doesn't crash. Oh boy. Well, but this is not capturing properly. Give me a moment. What's essentially happening is that OBS cannot pick up the game. There are a lot of problems with Unreal Engine games, so this is one of the annoying aspects. See what I mean? That's why when people say your game is made in Unreal Engine, it's so much more of a pain to capture. Unity games capture fine. This... And there's no way to switch it over to windowed mode. I don't understand why they don't add that by default. I disagree with that, Daibumin, but there are better ways to make it. Making the crossover the main plot, that's fine, but there are better ways of doing it. Is my microphone better, Philip? The problem is there is no windowed mode. If I could switch to it, it would capture properly, but there isn't. There are too many fangame developers who forget to add it, and that causes a whole bunch of issues with Unreal Engine games. That's because I'm muting the mic in case something goes wrong. There is one last thing I can do, but... let's see if I can pull it off. What I'm trying to do is figure out how to disable Windows Arrow, because sometimes that happens. Alright, this will be my last ditch attempt. If it doesn't work, I'll just record it in my own time and get it fixed that way. This is a reminder of why you should always have a windowed mode. If this fails again, I'm going off to Mega Man Ultra. Alright, do you see it, everyone? This is gonna be a bit awkward because I can't see my own chat now. Okay, yeah, because I turned off Arrow, things are stacking on top of each other. So I'm gonna go through the entirety game and not really see the chat for quite a few moments. Alright, let's start off with playing as X and go through the first stage. This game was made by Adam Kareem, and it's essentially a 3D X or Zero fan game. And this takes place in the interim between Mega Man X3 and X4. Here are the controls, by the way. I'll be playing a mouse and keyboard, while as the move, shift to toggle free aim on and off, power shot with Q as 0, and dash with E, and space is jump. To find my buster, just left click. Right click does the same thing as Mega, and when I don't have free aim toggled, if I get close enough to an enemy and middle click, it'll lock onto them. But honestly, as X, I'd rather just play with the free aim enabled all the time. It gives me much more accuracy. Also as X, and hold down the charge shot and fire full blast. Sadly, I can't wall jump, and apparently it is clipped right through the wall. Oops.
Transmission for now.
Yeah, I somewhat just... Okay, there's a hole in the ground there. I thought it just extended all the way there. I say this control is better than the previous game because its inertia controls make more sense to me, I'll say that way. It's not really better control, it's just different preferences. Okay, there's a hole over there. It's not the physics glitching out, it's just me not realizing it. And whenever you have free aim enabled, you cannot lock onto enemies. And unlike Mega Man Makeshift, there is actually a range restriction to your attacks. Let's see if we can demonstrate it. As you saw, it fizzled out, whereas in Makeshift, it would go on till the end of the world. Essentially, this is better for platforming. Free aiming is better for long-range attacks. Like this, for example. And that marks the end of this level. Now let's play to the next stage as X. I'll play as the last stage as 0 because each stage focuses on a different set of hazards. First one can be played as either X or 0, fine, but this one has a lot of long-range encounters. And considering that 0 mainly uses his sword, well, you see the problem. He does have access to his Z Buster, but he can't use it as much. For weaker enemies, I'll lock onto them like this, but for stronger ones, or the woes at a distance, I'll just use free aim. As you can see, some enemies have greater range than I do. And that marks the end of this stage. You get scored based on remission time, KO score, and final health. Last but not least, let's go through the final arena with Zero.
Weapon safety's disengaged.
So basic 3-strike combo. And if I right click, I fire my Z-Buster. But I can only use it when the purple bar on the top left is set to full. And that gets refilled as I destroy enemies, and slowly over time as well. Here it's preferred that I lock onto enemies. And if I slash at the right time, I can destroy these projectiles. Got hit by that. That's the only danger of playing as Zero. You need to be careful about your surroundings.
Weapon safety's disengaged.
Compared with the previous stage, Zero is better for here, I'd say. Seems enemies still have contact damage. And on to the final room. At least I think this is the final room. And that marks the end of this stage. So that's the end of the game. I can always play Zero on the other stages and X in the final stage, but that's it. At first glance, when I saw the trailer of this, I thought this had more content, but no. Only these 3 stages and all. I thought Makeshift would have less content, but essentially it was reversed. Although I feel this control is better than Makeshift, I like the inertia and the jumping, but sadly like wall jumping. I like the combat more here, everything feels like it has more impact. In terms of level design and the overall package, I think Makeshift is better. I feel that Makeshift and this game have different flaws, but when put together they'll resolve each other's flaws, hopefully. Also, please put a settings menu for putting this on windowed mode, otherwise it's really hard to capture normally with OBS Studio. Nevertheless, I like this. I'll try some of the other titles, add them in the future. Alright, let's see all of your comments. Alright, going up. Yeah, Mega Man Ultra is that game. This is better than X7. This is... One of my problems with X7 was the speed. This feels like it's the appropriate speed. Well, not really Z-Knuckle, but Z-Blaster. Yeah, I think wall jump is a bit hard to program with this, so they didn't add it yet. Remember, this is an alpha demo, so... or pre-alpha. I would say that Z03 is pretty good, and I wouldn't say any of the bosses are really boring. I think what do you mean by Flash emulators? You mean emulating Flash or emulating the NES or SNES games using Flash? Oh yeah, I know them. Anyways, I'll be right back and I'll be setting up the next game. And I'm back. Oh, okay. One moment, please. The resolution's off. There we go. Of course, now the... One moment, please, because YouTube has decided to break the chat again. How delightful. Reasons why I don't like when the chat decides to completely blow up. As you can see, the blue bot over there. Well, maybe not keep supporting it, but at least put some other efforts. Flash had an interesting history, but it's kind of sad seeing it go, I'd say. Well, there's always stuff like Flashpoint. I've been trying several things, but I'm afraid the chat is not being resuscitated. I can see the chat here, but as you can see in the video itself, chat is not spawning in properly. Blame YouTube again. Yeah, it's kind of sad seeing Flash dissipate. That's why it's so important to back it up. You know, the thing from MIT? It was more just for introductory, to be fair. It wasn't meant to be that serious. It was an introductory, simple visual language tools kit so you can make simple games. That's because they have support for someone who actually wants support, gives support. Again, I'm gonna try one last thing. Let's see if it blows up or not. It's gonna ruin the formatting though. Okay, chat's not moving, but as you can see, it's... yeah. Alright, sorry folks, but I have to regress to the basic system because while I was streaming, apparently YouTube made some changes to formatting CSS, so if I try using the CSS, it breaks. Just wonderful. Anyways, I'll have to transition onwards like this. Let's do it then. "20 years have passed since the capture of Dr. Wily. During that time period, Dr. Light has been secretly creating a new battle robot called X. 6 months ago, Dr. Wily escaped and has stolen the blueprints to create X. Will Mega Man find the truth behind Dr. Light and X... ... Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and I welcome you all to my blind live let's play of Mega Man Ultra, a Mega Man 2 ROM hack developed by Infidelity. So without further ado, let's begin. As this is a blind let's play, I apologize in advance for any silly mistakes or false assertions I make. I'll start off by going after Flashman. You can pick the next Roadmaster to go after I defeat him. You can select which Roadmaster to go after I defeat him. It does modify the level design and boss patterns, so it's not a glorified repaint, it's more than that. How did I even dodge that? Well, okay then. Those crystals shining are a bit distracting. Evil Brakeman, and yes, we have a standing shoot sprite. Oh, that's a surprising amount of damage. Whoa, that's a lot of damage. It deals 7 damage per hit. I think it's kind of a bit extreme. It really should deal about 3 to 4 points of damage. Alright, you can destroy the chains in this game. I'm gonna liberally use rapid fire for this game. I'm gonna heavily use rapid fire for this game. If there are more of these Proto Man enemies. Flashman. Seriously? It even fires projectiles at me. That's heavily modified. It didn't need to be that strong. And I only start out with 2 lives. And I only start out with 2 extra lives. The music playing in the background is a remix of Blizzard Buffalo's theme from Mega Man X3. Really? Those are essentially modified sniper armors. One of my least favorite enemies when you start Mega Man. One of my least favorite enemies in Mega Man 2, to be honest. They're just too durable. Unless you have some special weapons, but of course you don't start with them. We really need one of them here, and it immediately starts firing at me. It even respawns. That's not good level design. Everything else of the stage is fine. I just questioned the placement of those sniper armors, essentially. I know this is one of the older Mega Man 2 ROM hacks, but still. Could have at least placed less durable enemies or made them less durable. These wouldn't be so bad if I actually started out with some special weapons. Nope, I can't. This is Mega Man 2. The other problem is how damaging these attacks are. They're just too damaging. Especially the evil Breakman projectiles dealing 7 damage to me. I'm gonna have to use rewinds and save states from here on out. Because stuff like that can happen. I'm worried there's another one to the right. Okay, this is different. It never stops firing. I'm okay with this one's placement. This one doesn't stop firing as well. This is bad. Just run. That's okay, Philip. Oh boy. 0 lives. I'm gonna have to essentially perfect run this. Up. This is gonna be fun. And he turns around too. I need to be back at full health, so time to game over. Yep, still basic master. The biggest problem with this stage are those sniper armor resprites. They're just too damaging and too durable. Same with the evil Breakman. Everything else of the stage is fine. Also because you can respawn them very easily. That's true. And there are not as many life pickups as there should be. Thankfully getting back there shouldn't take too long. After all, this is the first checkpoint. It's better to just run past it. Flashman's original weakness was the crash bomb. Really, this should be down over here. I know this is expert, but even expert shouldn't be this damaging. If I can just make it to the gate, that's all I need. Made it. As long as you don't immediately fire and jump over me at least once or twice, it's fine. Bye, burner. I'm gonna deliberately game over here. It is possible to dodge that, but you need to get really close to Flash Man. Is it random how many times he does that? He's done. He takes double damage from the Buster, so as long as you're at full health, it isn't too difficult to defeat him. Alright, who should I go after second? This is Mega Man Ultra Jaden, a Mega Man 2 ROM hack made by Infidelity. Sure, let's go after Heatman. Why not? The stage design has been changed significantly. So by defeating him, I get the Time Stopper and Rush Tree. Gets Draft Wit. So, Rush Claw? Now let's see how difficult he's gonna be. I don't want to go through Woodman stage without his weakness. Brightman stage? And this is Vile's team in Mega Man X3. Well, Vile's stage team, I mean. Met Spines? Wow. Didn't expect to see these here. Also, Telly spawning in from nothing. Kind of a pet peeve of mine. And it's not like they're spawning in from the black part of the background. More evil brakemen. I also noticed Mega Man climbs up and down the ladders faster than what I remember. Well, at least the tele damage isn't that high. I was worried it's going to be phenomenally high. Here comes the Yokus. Well, okay. That wasn't too bad of a section, if I didn't get forced to damage boost it. Holding up on the ladder does this, and drops me off. Mega Man's dance routine. Thanks for the information, everyone. Especially you, Philip. And this Yoko Block section wasn't that bad. It's better than the original, to be quite honest. Falling off the top of the ladders, though, that's not fun. And the spike hitboxes, well, as you can see, They're smaller than what they actually look like. It's the bottom half that's dangerous. Seriously, look at the hitboxes. Where's the checkpoint? No, that's... Let's try this again. Again, I think this is the worst enemy in the game so far. The hitboxes of those orbs are way too big. Oh, and the checkpoint is right over here. Let's see how Heatman fights. You glitched into the terrain there, Heatman. Yeah, I have Rush Claw. I should have actually experimented with that. So a faster version of Item Tree, essentially. Can you be a bit more consistent when you're gonna fire off? Seriously, can you please have a less random pattern? I don't really like it when there's less indication here. First one's fine, it's just when the future ones. Again, please, why aren't you having it? You have to react just exactly on the frame. It's dependent on my jumping and shooting patterns. There's a max amount of time to wait, but again, my iframes are also not high enough. Five is max, but it seems to randomize between 2 and 5. There's no consistency. Well, there is a pattern, but it's really reacting to my shots. That was 4. That's 5. That's 4. That's 3. 4. 2. 4. 2. 5. That was 5. It would be more consistent if you did it only a certain number of times after firing. That was 6. And there goes the pattern. If only I had sliding, I could have more time to react into everything. Done, after about 8 or 9 failures. Mega Man unlimited damage values with not enough time, with a lower amount, but with a lower amount of time to react. If I can stand on the opposite side of the room as him, I have enough time to react. But I don't always get the chance to get to the other side of the room. I don't have sliding after all. Sure, I'll go after Airman next. So I get essentially a modified atomic fire and item 1. Or rush lift. I'll do Airman first, then Crashman. Thank you, Philip. Mega Man 3's Wily Fortress? That's different. I guess you got tired of the Air Fortress and wanted an actual fortress. Let's see how this works. Alright. About the same, I think. Considering there's not as many bottomless pits, the piggies aren't as dangerous. Screen scrolling, can you center please? This feels strange. I didn't expect to find lightning lords underwater. This isn't a Wily level, this is actually Airman's stage. He took over Wily Fortress 3. Yep. The game would lag here if I didn't overclock the emulator. Well, it's already lagging, but there'd be a lot more flashing. Really? Doesn't pierce through? The atomic fire kind of sucks. I'll be looking forward to that, Buster. So far the quality of levels are ranging the gamut. The stages that use the evil brakeman the least are the best ones. Like this one and most of the previous one, for example. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but I will extensively be using save states and rewinds for this ROM hack. I could probably do all of it without the use of them, but it'd be a lot slower. That is, I'd game over a lot more. See what happened in Flashman's level, for example. It's not so much the bosses that are a problem, Heatman notwithstanding, but more the stages. Okay, Airman's coming up. We just walked through the boss door there. Top spin? Easiest boss so far. Easiest stage overall, in fact. This is a good candidate for a first level. Hey, at least the boss isn't crazy difficult. You take what you can get. And I get the top spinner. As well as... Rush 2, I guess. Darn it. Well, I forgot to do something. Anyways, on to Crash Man. Essentially, I forgot to turn back on the recording after I finished the Sage entries. So... Wait a minute, we have Evil Eddies now? This predates Anti-Eddie by several years, by the way. Let's get the E-Tank. Let's game over as well because I'm only back to 2 health. Or 2 lives. Long story short, I forgot to re-enable the recording, so... Essentially, I'll be posting this LP ASAP. What songs aren't really that butchered anyways? And this time we actually have holes in the walls to see where the mets are, to see where the tellers are coming from. Why didn't the other stage do that? They're basically like the Metars, to be honest. These Eddies look rather happy. Look at their eyes. Oh, whoops. I need that extra life. Well, not now, but I may need it later. Yeah, Daddy looks better. I hate when that happens. Let's just go take the other route. Definitely the easy route. Kind of. Oh. You know what that means. Only half the spikes go invisible though. I would really like that. What's happening? I think I'm running against the wall or something. Item tree, save me. Yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, there was a ladder all this time. I should have just pressed up. Because there was no indication that I was running against the wall. Yeah, I noticed it, Philip. Did we really need this setup? There's no Yamasees either or those bug enemies that walk on the walls. Super Crash Man time! To be quite honest, this is a lot better than what I initially thought. When you said he would never stop firing, I thought you meant he would continuously fire crash bombs at me. I'll give it one more honest attempt, then I'll just use the air shooter and blow him up that way. See, to be quite honest, he was still pretty predictable. Yeah, who are we going after next? When you said he would never stop firing the Vector Claws, aka Modified Crash Bombs, I thought you meant he would continuously fire bombs. Not like that. What man it is. I have his weakness, so let's do it. This is one of the stages where... This is one of the more famous stages Mega Man Ultra has, and you'll see why soon enough. Welcome to SMB 1-1. Why thank you, Modified Robot. Kinda wish I had the Metal Blade for this. Hey, at least this actually resprited the enemies. For the time this was released, it was much more novel for a ROM hack. Or at least a Mega Man ROM hack. I should also probably try out the Vector Claw. Oh, that's the top spin. It just pierced right through him. So that's 1-1 done. I guess we're going to 1-2 now. And I like the Wind Goombas as well. Kinda wish the Koopalings weren't as durable. I mean Koopas, not Koopalings. Oh no. So, more resprited robots. Will these cannons actually fire at me? They haven't fired yet, but I'm a bit concerned of being trolled. Oh, there are the cannons. They're just resprited Pippies. In some ways it actually makes them more dangerous. We made it to the end. That's the reason why I was worried of going through the stage first. That's why I didn't want to do that. Finding a buster only, really don't recommend it. That's why. And those are not solid in the background. Only time you can attack him is in midair. And that leaf shield is a huge amount of damage. So let's use his weakness. I'm not gonna do it this buster only. No, that's not his weakness. What? Seriously, he pierced up the shield so fat. That's what I mean by barely any time. Oh yeah, that is his weakness. You just need enough time to hit him. Seriously, how long does it even take to... So slow. The atomic fire pretty much sucks in this game. Why does it have to take so long to fire? Done. This would have been so much easier had it not been so fast with his wood shield, or leaf shield, and if the atomic fire actually charged faster. Yeah, good reason to be weak to other stuff. Even though he takes the most damage from it, it's not really the best one. Yeah, I didn't really see the message as I was concentrating more on the game. Metal Man, sure. Shadow Man? With Gutsman's team? Reminder that these are actually conveyor belts. That's why I was getting confused of why I was being pushed forwards, or backwards. How's the audio balance doing, by the way? You know, when I see these platforms, I think they're actually supposed to damage me, not push me. Leaf Shield seems to have gotten an upgrade in terms of weapon usage. I spy you. The tiles that just look so confusing. Maybe not confusing, but a bit strange. Free tank. Yeah, there's a combination of Gutsman and Fireman's teams. So close to making it past damageless. Alright. Let's see what Metal Man has up his sleeves. There's a bottomless pit right in his boss room, the preceding boss room. So, more saw cutters and such and such. Uh-oh. And I don't have his weakness either, I think. This may prove to be a problem. Yeah, this tile set looks ugly. That's the best way of putting it. What's his alternative weakness? Outside of the Metal Blade, of course. Oh, wonderful, I don't have any of them. That's why I have so many E-tanks. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Let's try this again. Playing more aggressively seems to be the way to go. I dropped him under half his health this way. And done. I'll do Bubble Man as you typed it in first, then I'll do Quick Man. And I'm also thankful that they kept the weakness order. Like in the original Mega Man 2, Bubble Man's weak to the Metal Blade. Remember, first come, first serve. I'm not sure if I like the modifications Metal Man has here. It's similar to Heat Man. How are you supposed to dodge most of that? Quick Man is weak to the Time Stopper originally. And this is Launch Octopus's team. How's the game's audio bounce doing, by the way? Is it too low, too high, or just right? I will post a sort of edited version of this LP in the future, but because I forgot to record it locally, it's gonna sound different. It's not gonna be as high quality. Good. The music remixes used here aren't the best, as is made apparent, and I should be using the Metal Blades more. I mean, they are the Metal Blades. Seems like the damage has been nerfed a bit. Most of the music does sound a bit too high-pitched. Really? More Rabot reskins? They seem to have the most reskins of any enemy in the game. Or resprites. Metal blades also move slower. Well, I know they're called something else, but I'll call them metal blades. They are better against certain enemies. I didn't memorize that. I was paying too much attention to chat there. This is gonna be bad. That's what I was worried about. You don't have much time on these. See what I mean? Then on this one, and failed completely. Because otherwise, you have to repeat this. I think item 2 is the best bet here. Or not. Seriously, this is too tight. Give more time on top of these platforms. I'm rewinding because this is the same thing we'll see over and over and over. This would have worked if I actually had sliding, by the way. Okay, now I decided not to fall. What the heck, game? Now imagine if you didn't have item 1. Keep thinking that's the metal blade. Yeah, I could also use the pause glitch, but the game didn't explicitly tell me to use the pause glitch. It's not a Kaizo game. At least I hope it's not trying to be one. If push comes to shove, I'll use it. Okay, 3 lives. Might as well just use the metal blades or saw blades against him. What crazy tactics does it have up its sleeves? How much damage do you take from the buster? I guess I'll find out next time. I at least want to see how he works Buster only before I use his weakness to destroy him. Despite him firing more, his damage is actually quite low. I was expecting much higher amounts of damage like Metal Man, but no. You can do this Buster only fine, even during your first attempt. So by defeating him, I get the Ice Bubble. Next up is, of course, Quick Man. Now let's see how difficult that stage is going to be with the Force Beams. The top of the building at the intro. And we have an evil Breakman over here. This is not a good sign at all. I'm preemptively equipping the Metal Blades. Because you're of course you're immune. What weapon works best against them? This is gonna turn out to be a nightmare, isn't it? Let's try this. Nope. You mean item 2. I'll do it the next time, when I get to a high enough place. Ah. Moment. Now, let's use item 2. Of course, it's just there. And that would be an amazing background in Mega Man Maker. Of course, I lost it. 5 frames. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of preferring the force beams now. This is not good level design with so many damaging enemies. This stage so far has the worst enemies in the hack, and it uses them extensively. I would rather just have the force beams. And they respawn so easily. Yeah, I'll use item 2 this time. I'm trying to do this the more fair way, but the game is not working. The game is deciding not to work with me. So close there. And of course, the huge hitboxes, easily the worst enemy in the game by far. I'm using E-Tank here. Okay, close enough. Let's do it. And still end up getting hit anyways. Reminder, that's why I didn't want to do it. I could have done it up there, but doesn't seem that way. By this point, I just want the force beams. Those are a lot more fair than this, to be honest. Maybe not a lot more, but fair. Welcome to the stream, Robert. Glad you subbed. Currently I'm going through Mega Man Ultra, a not so good Mega Man 2 ROM hack. Basically, the biggest problems with this hack can be tied to these two enemies. If only they were made less damaging, less durable, or fired less frequently, and they're placed in less annoying locations. Any stages that heavily use it are just made so much worse. And because this stage only uses these two enemies, it's the worst stage by far. And we haven't had the force beams even. Okay, these aren't actually spikes. They totally look like spikes to me. Oh, thank you, Fan Fiend. We actually have different enemies in the stage. Instantaneously better. Again, this will be edited down in post. Though not as well as I usually do because I forgot to hit recording again. Suddenly the stage design has improved massively. It's like this was two different stages or someone else decided to make this part of the stage. It now feels fair. Frankly, I wish the original Sniper Joe was here. Thank you, Pippi. Even them are not that damaging and annoying. Yeah, that's the first level. Now let's get out of here and fight Quick Man. Honestly, he's gonna be much better than the stage. still better than the stage. Yep, all the bosses have been reskinned. And I forgot to mention it, all the bosses have been palette swapped or reskinned. His main problem is his jumps, really. Now let's finish him. Or not. It's not enough. Now it is. I think part of them are. You get strapped with Ultra Beam. Perfect placement to you there. I don't have that much time left, but let's see how far I can get through the Wily Fortress. Looking at the time, I'll have to save this for the next stream. Sorry everyone, because this is gonna take too long to complete, and I'd rather complete all this in one episode. So far, the thoughts on this game I have are not really that good. The level design is really hit and miss, more on the miss side. And the biggest problems are those re-sprited Sniper Joes and Sniper Armors, easily the worst enemies in the game. And stages that barely use them are automatically better than the ones that do. That's why Quickman stage is the worst. Bosses are also hit and miss. Heatman and Metalman are examples of bosses who are too tough, I'd say, or they deal too much damage, especially Heatman, and they need better telegraphs. Quickman as well due to his random jumping. Some bosses are kind of easy, like Bubbleman and the other boss. One of the other bosses. Woodman is an example of another extremely difficult boss. Well, not extremely, but very difficult. I wish he took more damage from the Buster. Nevertheless, I'll continue this in the next episode during the next stream. Well then, I thank you all for watching my stream. It was interesting playing through 5 different titles, 3 demos from Sage, Ringman in the Castle, and then this game. Of all the games, I'd definitely say that Ringman in the Castle was the best one, by far. And in second place would probably be Mega Man Makeshift. So the next stream will either be tonight, where I'll be playing Forger, or something else next week. Nevertheless, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Toodles!